This call is being recorded.
Good deal. Those of you that have people that you know are not there and can't make it, tell them sometime tomorrow or next week to email me and let me know they couldn't make it, and I will send them the recording so that they don't miss out on anything. A lot of this information is in the AI brochure, but it's worth re-mentioning and talking about it. But my name is Ron Lloyd. On behalf of ASMC, I'd like to welcome you to our ASMC Assistant Instructor Volunteer Training. On here also on mute, but is there, Libby Long out of our office is sitting back, making sure that we're recorded. And just to let you know, this line sometimes we will get some unwelcomed advertising, and they're linked in also to cut that off for us. So if that happens, we'll just remain quiet until it goes away, and then we'll resume. I want to thank all of you for volunteering to assist us with this PDI. First of all, I want to give you some stats. As of a few minutes ago, we are 3,024 registered attendees. That's exciting. That is exciting. The last 2 years, Seattle and New Orleans, we were a little over 2,500. So things are picking up. Navy is still not on board as such. No Navy Day. We're getting some more Navy people this year, or somehow getting funded. Very few. And we have some that are paying their own way. They feel their training is so important and their certification is so important. They want to be a part of it. I'm sure by now I hope all of you have read the Program Support Volunteer Guide, and hopefully you've contacted your speakers to support them. I haven't heard from any of them saying, who is my AI and where is he, in a week or so, so hopefully we've done that. I'm not going to cover the guide item by item, but we'll cover a lot of this during this teleconference, some of the things that are important, and just to re-emphasize some of those things. If I've missed anything, make a note. We'll have a question and answer session at the end. Most likely I'll cover everything, so we won't have to take time to interrupt and discuss. So if you would, just hold the questions until that time. First of all, I want to talk about the 2016 PDI program itself. AIs, as all of you know, play a crucial role in the success of the PDI program. From the time you make your speaker contact until we're actually on site at the PDI itself. You're very visible in many ways with the speaker. You're visible in other ways at the PDI. And I want to talk more about that in your role as we continue through this conference. Let me turn to the American Society of Military Comptrollers itself. The primary mission is to provide professional development to our membership and DoD financial community. That's an important mission that we have, and a mission that should always remain our primary concern even throughout the PDI. What's the importance of the AI support? You are the key link to the speakers. If they've been previously as a PDI speaker, then they know the importance of your role and they know how to come to you and ask for specific things. If they're new to the PDI, they need your guidance even more and your assistance. And we're going to discuss more of those roles as we get further along your AI-specific responsibilities. The speaker materials, information the speakers are using, and what they're to do, and so forth, I sent you in their guide so you'd know kind of what's going on. We rent laptops in the seminar classrooms. However, most of you have probably found out if some of your speakers are bringing their own laptop or they have sent their presentations. It's easier for them if their presentation is already preloaded, then they can just bring their own equipment, which is interchangeable, and can use that. Ensure you get your speaker's most current briefing prior to the PDI. The exception is if they bring their own laptop and their presentation is preloaded. However, you have to get a copy of it at PDI at least by the time we're on site. The PDI computers are designated by classrooms through the speaker ready room, which I'll talk a little more in a few minutes about. some of those and some of our designated AI staff in there can help you find out what classroom your presentations are in. And for Thursday and Friday, each morning of those 2 days, each of you will go to load your speaker's presentation on the appropriate workshop computer desktop. Then, of course, check it to ensure it does display and so forth. We have a mandatory training meeting Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'll talk about in a few minutes, but Thursday, Friday, all 3 days is 7 o'clock to about 7:45. By 7:30, the laptops are placed in the classroom. They lock them up overnight, so the IT people will be putting them out, connecting them, and so forth. So by the time we finish our morning meeting, you can go to that specific classroom and load. There's IT people around. They can help you. That's not a problem. Somebody's talking in the background. It's overriding.
Ron, that's someone out of Huntsville. If they could just please mute their phone.
Okay. Yes, they did. After our morning meeting is finished, by that time you can go to the classroom. Now should be 4 of you showing up. There's 2 sessions in that room in the morning. There's 2 sessions in the afternoon. So if they're single workshops, there'll be 4. If they're A/B workshops, of course, there'll be 1 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon, or 1 and 2 more. So expect other people to be there. But through the speaker ready room, you can find out what room you're in and take care of that. Let the speaker know that you're going to be doing that in case they change their presentation prior to coming to PDI. If they're bringing their own laptop, of course, I said it's interchangeable. We will have a mock-up system in the speaker ready room where they can disconnect our equipment and they can hook theirs in just to make sure. Each room provides a LCD projector, a laptop computer, and a screen. Of course, a podium, a high-rise. If it's a panel, they will have microphones. We have 1 table microphone for each 2 people. This year, we've gone wireless lavaliers. In the past, because of cost, we went wired. I think had a 30-foot cord, and with some exceptions, we would allow, especially presenters that are out in the audience, we would do the wireless. This year, everyone has a wireless in there. We have a station mic at the podium for each of you to use to introduce your speaker and make any announcements and so forth. Make sure that you just continue the communication and your coordination with your speakers. If you have problems getting your presentation, some of them are busy people. They say they've got to make changes. They're working right up to PDI. That's fine. That's understandable. And sometimes it may be easier just to coordinate meeting them on Tuesday or Wednesday, speaker ready room or wherever you want, and get their presentation on a CD or however they bring it to you. Just make sure that you do get it by then and not wait till Thursday and you try to find them and then you've got to be loading and so forth. But the communication between you and them is important. A little note, VIPs have a VIP room. They can prepare for their workshop in the VIP lounge or the speaker ready room. Either place has tables. They just don't allow other than VIP SES general officers to go into there. You can go in there if you need to find them or contact, or they have said, find me in there. That's not a problem. All volunteers will have a volunteer at the bottom of their badge, and that allows you into there. Libby, I think we've got stick-on little tabs this year also, don't we, for AIs?
Stick-on tabs?
Where they have the speaker tape on at the bottom. It says speaker. I think Lori said that she was making or Deanna one, we're making them for AIs this year. So
I'll check with Deanna. She didn't mention that when we did the ordering, but that doesn't mean she didn't add it. So I'll check with her.
Okay. But if we have that, that just shows that you're allowed to go in other areas. But the volunteer on the bottom of your badge allows you to get into the command center, our volunteer lounge, and other places you need to go. A little about logistical support. ASMC is green, therefore we do not make any copies of materials for speakers. We can, if they choose to make them, they can ship. If you'll let me know, I can send you the labels that they have to use to make sure, and they've got a window of when they can get it there by to ensure it gets to them, but it's deliverable to the speaker ready room. Normally, we only have one or two that do that, but if they happen to ask, we have labels and we can get the thing. Specific AI responsibilities. Courses to make speaker contact so that you can make your introductions to them, but later introductions of them to their audience. You need to coordinate their needs. Two primary categories for the speakers, of course. One is those, most of the speakers will register and get a full package like yours. They have meal tickets and everything included. Others come and present for one workshop or two workshops, so they do not register. For those people, unlike we've done in the past where we ask them, our registration headquarters is putting together a list of who they know are not registered, but they know they're speakers, and they will make name badges, which will be located in the speaker ready room. And we will also offer comp meal tickets. If they're there for, say, Thursday, we'll have a comp meal ticket for Thursday lunch for them. Like we got some music.
Sounds like somebody put us on hold and not mute.
Yeah, it's coming from MacDill. Coming from MacDill Air Force Base. There's nothing I can do unless you want me to cut them off.
No, it's all right.
Yeah, if they're on hold, they're not even hearing us talk about them.
I said cut them off.
Put it on mute. There you go.
They're gone.
Oh, they're gone?
They'll dial back in if they want to come back.
Yeah, they'll dial back in.
Yeah, they will. They will have the meal tickets and their name tags in the speaker ready room where they'll come and pick those up. That means you don't have to do anything. It's going to be done. If they happen to ask, they're not registered, just tell them that we'll have their information, tag, and so forth. Often, we get a lot of speakers asking, where is my breakfast ticket? Their name badge is their pass to eat breakfast. They do not get a meal ticket. They just have, there's meal tickets for the lunches and then for the Wednesday night dinner. So just a piece of information in case you get asked that. I have AIs asking me, how do they get their breakfast ticket? There is none. I think what along that line.
So, Ron, this is Rainey. I wanted to verify. So, are all the speakers considered VIP, or is there just certain ones that are allowed into that lounge? Because I wanted to put something out to all my people to make them aware of it.
No, it is only SESs and general officers. Now, there are some exceptions that Al and Libby have made, but they'll be badged and they'll say VIP so they can get in there.
Yeah, it's 07 and above.
Okay, thank you.
SES is an 07 and above.
A little bit about bios and so forth. We want to keep their introduction down in the guide. It says 45 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
We've narrowed that down so we don't take into their time. I remember several years ago, I just happened to be standing in the back of a workshop, and an AI got up there, and they spent 5 minutes telling things about themselves and about a half a minute on the speaker. So it was funny, but then we decided we needed to specify, just keep it short, introduce yourself, who you are, you're the AI for the session, and repeat the session just to make sure they're in the right place. and do a quick introduction. 45 seconds, we say. That's just an estimate. The speaker will tell them more if he has more to say, and so forth. As you know, we use scanners at the door. We use local hires in every area. There's one or more scanners at the workshop doors, depending on the number of attendees for the seminar. We have some workshops that I saw that are 500 and 600 people. So to expedite people getting in, there may be 2, 3, or even 4 scanners. The scanner verifies who's allowed to be in attendance, who's registered for that course, and they've been loaded. And when they scan in, it shows they're allowed, and they'll let them in. I've seen several cases looking today that the seating is maxed out. In those cases, the people that decided they wanted to go and were not registered may not get in. But what happens is they're scanned. If it's rejected, they're asked to stand to the side to make sure that most of the people get in. And then if there's plenty of seating, they'll start letting some in. Otherwise, they wait 10 minutes, and if people have no-showed, then they'll let people on standby come in. The concern is just please understand that AIs do not interfere with the scanning of the admittance. The scanner employees will be trained. I'm involved with that training, so I try to explain to them our side of the house, and I do that in conjunction with the registration headquarters people. But to better understand ASMC, what's going on at the PDI and our people and the workshop environment, they seem to think that helps them a lot. I also tell them how to when and when not to de-enroll some person leaving too early. Again, we ask the AIs don't get involved with that because they're going to have set procedures. If somebody up and leaves and takes everything with them and there's 30 minutes left, they'll unenroll them. If someone comes out, like a lady just grabs her purse and goes out, they're evidently going to the bathroom and they're going to be back. So it's kind of a touchy thing. We try to maintain a good role, but coming in late or leaving early, you get no credit. The role is to have the hall monitors, though, checking to make sure all scanners are working. We've got 3 main areas. We have 2 of you assigned to each area with a walkie-talkie, and we'll explain the function of the walkie-talkie at our mandatory 4 o'clock meeting on Tuesday. But we ask that you walk around, make sure the scanners are working, people are getting in the classrooms, there's no backup, especially the larger classrooms. If the scanner happens to break, they have no way of getting hold of anybody. So you can help there. I also am walking around, and the RHQ hires 2 people that are managers with the scanners who also assist on that, and we can help there quick and get the scanner changed out if there's a problem. Crowd control is important.
Can I ask
Sorry?
a question? Can I ask a quick question? Is there any way that we can move up the meeting on Tuesday? Since they sent out the email about people not signing up for the golf, that they're going to have to cancel it if people don't sign up. So that people, if any of the other volunteers want to sign up for it but can't because of the 4 o'clock meeting.
Well, 2 things. Number one, almost all AIs are coming from out of town and some even from Europe. That is the earliest we can have it. There's people that are going to barely get there as it is.
Oh, okay. All right. Never mind. All right.
Number 2, I don't know the position of the golf thing, Libby. Is it still a go, or you know?
We're going to make a final decision tomorrow, but it's looking good. The word has definitely gotten out. But we'll make a final decision tomorrow because by close of business tomorrow, we have to let the hotel know in order to avoid attrition penalty.
Okay.
All right. I had seen the notice, and I was just with the conflict. I was wondering if we could move this meeting, but since we can't, then that's fine. That's cool.
Well, hey, Libby and Ron, this is Al.
Al, yes.
Yeah, the reason I think she asked the question, I was just at the Washington chapter luncheon, and someone mentioned to me, an AI mentioned to me that they had registered for foot golf and then found out that it actually conflicts with the AI training. So then they had to, cancel their registration for foot golf and get a reimbursement, of course. But I would like to look at the possibility of moving the AI training to a time that would not conflict. So we can talk about that after the call. If it is possible to move it, we can put word out to the AIs. So more to follow on that after you, me, and Libby look at it.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
That's good. Thank you.
Okay.
Back to the larger workshops, we're going to have two, three, four scanners there. With the mini courses, which are your DoD FM certification courses, in most cases the AB workshops, to get the credit, I'm not sure how we're doing a questionnaire. Libby, are we doing Survey Monkey again this year?
Yes, we are. It's part of the mobile app, which launched today, but we're working on getting those ready to post early next week.
Okay. The first time we did the DoD FM certification courses, you had to do the questionnaire before you left that session. Last year we went Survey Monkey, and I believe they sent it to you after you were gone and back home. So it'll be Survey Monkey again this year. You'll be notified, so it will not be a part of being in the class, but it's still required as part of the DoD certification credit. But we'll have more guidelines on that when we have our Tuesday meeting. Hall monitors, I explained what's going on there. If you're an AI in the classroom and you have some type of equipment failure, whether it's sound system, LCD bulb burns out, or computer failure, go out and tell the hall monitor with a walkie-talkie, and they can call and get help. Most important, if we have a medical emergency, if you remember, and we're at Seattle, one of our speakers had a heart attack and fell off the stage because of quick actions. EMT got there. By the way, they have one of our radios on our channels. The hall monitors got a hold of them. They called for an ambulance while they were en route, and we were able to get the man help. And he was actually back at PDI on Friday to let everybody know he was okay, and actually spoke last year. So it's a coordination of you in the classroom with the person out in the hall with the walkie-talkie.
This is Mark Thompson from MacDill Air Force Base. Are you going to give us instructions on the channels and the protocol for using the radios and who to actually call for those types of things?
Correct. We will do that at the meeting on Tuesday afternoon. I have said 4 o'clock in all of our emails, but whatever time that happens at that meeting, we'll discuss all of that and so forth, and pairing you up with your counterpart and so on to make sure who's going to get the walkie-talkie. Since the walkie-talkies are limited, the people in major hallways will have them. But you may have another volunteer that is doing something else, a hospitality person or someone who may need to contact one of our other people. So they may come and ask to use the walkie-talkie. So if you would support them in trying to help them do those things. The walkie-talkie information will be explained more when we have that meeting. They're maintained in the command center where we have more security and so forth. And more to come on that later. I've kind of made a broad coverage of some of the things, but I want to get a little more specific into your duties. Prior to the PDI, you've made contact, told your speaker who you were to make them know, let them know that you're the person that will be doing everything and meeting them and being in their workshop with them. When you make contact, especially the newer speakers, be careful in using acronyms. When you say AI, if you would try it the first time, say assistant instructor so they know what you're talking about. A lot of our government acronyms, some people get lost with that, and some of our speakers are CFOs or CEOs of corporations They're sometimes government connected, but they may have a question. So it's just a point of being careful if you could. Your role is to support them, of course. If you're talking or communicating with an SES or general officer or the corporate executive, you may be working with an XO or executive officer or an admin support person. This is especially true where in the information I have sent you, you see a POC. Make sure that you have made contact with that POC also. You've added them to your emails. In some cases, that's who you're dealing with. But if you're dealing with the speaker themselves and they have a POC, CC them because they often are the person that's going to make sure things are done on time. And if the speaker gets busy, they will remind them. Prior to the PDI, make an attempt to try to talk to the speaker, telephone call once, just to talk to them, coordinate everything, make sure everything's on target, you're going to meet them, so forth. Important, again, just make sure you get their briefing in a timely manner, and often that's not easy. When you get the briefings, make sure, look at it and see if Pat Tyler, she's at tyler@asmconline.org. See if she has been CC'd to get the briefing. If not, if you would forward it to her. She maintains those and puts them on the web after the PDI for people to have access, the ones that couldn't get to the PDI. If you're supporting a panel, you surely have found out by now whether you're going to introduce a chairperson that will in turn introduce the others, which is the easier way, or if they want you to introduce each one. So ensure that you have worked that out if you haven't done so yet. Make sure, and this year we worked hard, and I think in almost 99% of the cases we had the bio in the contact information. Past years we did not, and you had to go after it. I think this year we were in really better shape thanks to Pat and those that worked on that. During the PDI, your support to the speaker, of course, is you coordinate meeting them in the speaker ready room, which is the Miami room. You want to write that down, the Miami room, and you meet them 30 minutes prior to their workshop time. At about 20 minutes out, make your way to the workshop. Along the way, make sure you mute or vibrate your phones. Make sure you remind your speaker. And when you get in and get to the podium, make sure that you remind everybody that's an attendee in the classroom. Make your announcements and do that. If you are in the hall monitor situation and you happen to have to go in a classroom for something, please ensure that you turn your walkie-talkie down or off for the few minutes you're in there, as well as your telephones. On the customer service side, we want to please ensure that we're always friendly, we have a smile, we're helpful to answer questions, that we don't slough anyone off. If someone asks a question and we don't really know, tell them, come with me and let's go find out. Try to be as helpful as you can. And that especially is a busy time on Tuesday when we wear the polo shirts, which I'll talk to those in just a minute. We stand out and we are identified with everybody having the same kind of shirt. So help them the best you can, and we'll all do the same. And again, on Tuesday we have kind of a little pep talk for all of us, just as reminders. Introducing your speakers, one thing I did forget. Make sure that you don't give out any personal information for the speaker unless you've coordinated it. If they have a website and they have asked you to give it out, that's fine, but if not, don't mention it. And if they want it given out, they'll give it out in the workshop. And by all means, at the end of PDI or after, do not give out their cell phone. Many of you will have their cell phone numbers. After the PDI, if somebody contacts you wanting more information about the speaker or so forth, just refer them to the office, to Libby, and they will take care of anything that's needed from that point. At the end of the PDI in your home, if you would just email everybody that you were working with as a speaker and thank them again for their time and their presentation. At the end of the session itself, we want to thank them, the speaker, get back up, thank them for their presentation and support to ASMC and the PDI, and tell them a donation will be made to our support charity, which is Operation Orion, Canines for Warriors. Operation Orion, ORION, dash Canines for Warriors. Past years, some of you older, not age-wise, some of you older, seasoned AIs, we used to say that a donation has been made in your behalf. Please do not say that because we don't do it by name. We make a donation for the as all speakers, so it's not an individual name given. But that's the charity this year. If the speaker is conducting more than one workshop, by all means make sure that you announce it at each session. The mandatory training on Tuesday, PDI time to be worked out, is in the Crystal M/N room. Crystal M is in Mary/N Nancy. Time to, and I've got blanket emails, I'll email everybody. This is primarily to let you know of any changes, any updates that are going on at the PDI. We talk about, of course, disaster preparedness if something was to happen. We talk about the possibility of terrorism if that should happen. Checking on people that maybe are not wearing a badge if they're in our area. They should have got through security, which we hire, but security can't watch everybody. But if someone is not wearing a badge, if you would just stop and ask them if they have one and to please wear it. You'll find people that are not wearing them, so it's really suspicious at first. Who are they and why are they in our area? But if you would do that, and we'll talk more about that. I'll be putting out more guidance on getting your polo shirts. Right now, I'm thinking Speaker Ready Room. You're there in time Monday afternoon from 3:30 to 4:30. Again, the Speaker Ready Room is the Miami room, 3:30 to 4:30. And then Tuesday, 8 to 3. Someone will be in there, probably Debbie O'Neill. So the volunteer polo shirts are a mint green. And we ask that women wear black or khaki slacks or a skirt, and men wear black or khaki pants. We ask, please, no shorts. Wednesday through Friday, for all AIs, of course, is business attire, and, of course, military uniform for those that are military that are helping. We have quite a few military AIs. Each morning we have a mandatory meeting, and we are furnishing you with breakfast, so you don't have to try to go to eat breakfast and then show up. The meeting's at 7 o'clock, and we'll be in the Los Angeles room. As an example, Wednesday morning, 7 a.m., the only people that would be there would be hall monitors. Wednesday morning, if you're a hall monitor that day, there's probably 36 or 40, I believe. Come there, we're done probably within 30 to 45 minutes in time to get to opening ceremonies. On Thursday and Friday, if you're working Thursday or Friday, you come to it. If you're working both days, you come both days. And again, we go over changes and so forth, but we'll do the same thing meeting. You can eat breakfast while we're talking. Often there's changes, there's things going on you need to know about that's happened the end of the day before that will affect you. So we've done that. It has really been quite successful. But we have the food there and so forth. Same thing the people downstairs are having. We'll have hot items, pastries, coffee, drinks, and so forth. So it's pretty nice. Again, the Los Angeles room, 7 a.m. Post-PDI, I talked about follow up with your speakers and send them an email. I had that down twice just as a reminder. Troubleshooting, I talked a little about some of the things hall monitors can do. Often, every PDI, if somebody's too cold, they'll come out and you can call the building custodian. We'll have a list of those type things. EMT, of course, I talked about, and the IT people to work on the equipment repairs. And all the walkie-talkies have channels, so that's easy to follow. Overall PDI information, we ask that no children allowed in the daytime in any of the sessions. For nighttime activities, attendees can purchase tickets for any additional guests, family, friends, so forth. Communication is the key the whole time we're there. We want you to attend your classes. Don't forget that, each person is paid to attend the PDI, even though it's a reduced rate, paid by government money. So we support that you get your training. This year I've been very fortunate, and I've been able to, in the very first half of you, I think I put all of you in everything that you asked for, that you registered for. I put you in one or two of those. And most of the people towards the end, I got at least one course. Some of you may not have gotten one or two, but we worked hard and we were able to do that. Just make sure you get to your training, you get scanned, you get your credits and so forth. In ending, just a few reminders, volunteer training again Tuesday at a time we'll discuss. Crystal M/N. The volunteer dinner for the volunteers, 6:30 to 9, is going to be at Bahama Breeze. That's the Bahama Breeze, Orlando Lake Buena Vista. If you wanted to Google that, if you missed the bus and you want to try to get there in a taxi or something, from what I understand, it's 2 miles from the Marriott. It's going to be a nice thing. We do ask for the RSVPs. I think about half of you have RSVP'd. It's not a mandatory thing you come to. It's a nice thing, but it's your option. It's casual. We have a good time. Just RSVP. We ask, again, it's a thank you to you, the volunteer, for the work you've done. So with that, we ask that you don't bring any friends or family. If you have other plans, of course, ensure that you do whatever you need to do. I know there is a CDFM social also. Some have asked me which to go to. I said, you can go to both or pick one or the other. Go to one and then the other. We sent out busing information. Make sure that you did write that down or print it out so you can take it and make sure that you do get the bus. The last note, I wanted to cover you as the AI volunteer. If you have work that you have to do, your organization expects you, if you're a corporate person or a government person, and they're maintaining a booth, and that's going to interfere with your AI duties, I need you to let me know so we can maybe make other arrangements. That's happened, and there's times that somebody has not been able to show up to do the AI side and has left us kind of holding, scrambling to find somebody to fill in. So if you're in that predicament, please let us know so we can try to rearrange what we need to. That is about it. A couple quick rooms. The command center and the volunteer lounge. The room is called the Anaheim/Atlanta/Boston. Anaheim/Atlanta/Boston. The speaker ready room is Miami room. The VIP lounge, which is always there next to or across the hall, very close to the speaker ready room, is the Chicago/Denver room. Chicago/Denver. Okay, Q&A time. If you have anything I've missed, have questions.
Hey, Ron.
Yes.
Lance from Hill. You talked about leaving early. For those of us that have to leave the 9 o'clock session for a 10:30 start or 10:45. we're leaving 15 minutes early to be 30 minutes early to the speaker ready room. The volunteer name on our thing gets us out without being disenrolled, right?
Right. I will. I train the AI, the scanner people twice, and I'll make sure that I tell them that, and we'll emphasize that. And we're going to have a kind of a little write-up thing to hand out to them with key things like that, so they can, in case they forget, they can look at it.
Right. But if we tell all the volunteers too, just kind of flash them to make sure that they know why we're leaving, as opposed to just scanning us out, not knowing why we're leaving.
Yeah. I'll try. I will let them know and the importance of what you're going to be doing. But I guess, and I hate to say it like this, but the key thing is for you people, not others. For you people, they can't disenroll unless they scan your badge. So don't take that wrong, but cover your badge.
Yeah.
They can't de-enroll you. And I think that's important for all of you that have work to do. If you leave, just a little bit early, you need your credits, but you are also doing a job. So, but I will tell them in the 2 sessions that I'm involved with. Kathy Arnoff, who is with RHQ, works with them constantly. That's almost her full-time job there. Her and I train, and we've been doing this for the last few years. So we cover all those things and just to ensure, but they do forget. So if any of you happen to have not a problem, but a challenge in that area with a specific, maybe a person, which we've had, I tell Kathy, and Kathy will go talk to them and just remind them not to, especially in that situation, to try to give them a hard time and tell them that you have to de-enroll.
Ron,
Thanks,
this
Lance.
is Al. For the mini courses, everybody, the AIs need to make sure, though, that they do submit their survey on the mini courses to get
Now,
credit.
Al, is that done after they go home?
Yeah, it's,
Okay.
I think, starting last year, we're doing that Survey Monkey, so that's
Right.
not a problem. And again, I'm a little concerned that if you try to cover up your badge and all of a sudden you end up in some kind of a contest with people doing the scanning, just, tactfully mention to them that you're an assistant instructor and you've got to get back to your next room, and that, you were told that you'll still get credit even though you have to leave. And I'll probably have a conversation with Glenda Shiner from OSD Comptroller just to make sure she's aware that, hey, yeah, we've got some volunteers that are going to miss the last 20 minutes of a session of a mini course. But, and again, if it's a workshop, no problem.
Right.
If it's a mini course, that's a little more serious. So I'll let her know. Either way, you want the CPEs for both, but for mini courses, you want that direct credit. And the requirements are a little more stringent on the mini course side. So I'll talk
Correct.
with Glenda Shiner, let her know there's a little bit of an issue there, but I don't think she'll have a huge issue with the fact that the volunteers really need, from the overall value of the PDI and everything, to bail out a little early.
Right. Okay. Sounds good.
I've got 2 other
Ron?
things I want to mention after you get through the rest of the Q&A.
Okay. Any other questions?
Mark Thompson from McDale. How long is the meeting on Tuesday expected to last?
It runs at least an hour. We try to get it done an hour plus a little. The last thing we do is we take you on a quick tour of all the facilities that you're going to be using, so you know where everything is, not only to get there, but to give guidance from the VIP room, the computer setup, the net cafe, the main sessions, the registration area, the whole thing, to help out in your duties. That takes maybe 15, 20 minutes to do that.
Okay, yeah, I was just wondering because I didn't know if I'd have time to go catch the tail end of the service project, but does not look like that.
No, usually not. And that has been a problem when we used to do 5Ks. People want to run the 5K or the service project, but you get back by 5:36 and everything is finished by then. But Al and Libby and I are going to talk about that, see if there's a way we can get around that. I don't know, but 3 smart minds, or 2 and me, we'll come up with something.
For the Ron,
Yes.
For the volunteer dinner, you just meet the bus is going to be out front of the hotel?
Correct.
Okay.
They'll run 2 trips.
Okay.
And I had that in the RSVP thing I sent out.
Yeah.
Make sure you just print that out so you have that as a reminder.
Okay, will do.
Okay.
Hey,
if you have any
Ron.
more questions, just email me.
Okay.
Hey, Ron.
Yes, ma'am.
This is Brenda Dickerson and New Orleans chapter, and I was just wondering, I was talking to Olivia, and she was saying that she was too late to sign up as an AI. And if you have an opening for an alternate or anything, please consider her.
Yeah, I had emailed her and told her that we had filled the slots, and I had about 20 others that were on standby.
Oh, my goodness.
At the last minute, in past years, we've had people just, an emergency comes up and they have to cancel, so we have to grab somebody.
Okay.
So far, that has not happened.
Okay. Well, just in case. That'll be great.
I will. I got her name. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Anybody else? Hey, Al.
Yeah, Ron, thanks. One thing I want to do, the charity, I think actually we call it Operation Orion, hyphen K9s for Warriors. So I think Orion is probably the way to pronounce that. On the remarks, in thanking speakers and telling them that, a donation will be made, I think the proper way to do that is just to say, in recognition of your support as a speaker, for our PDI, we'll be making a contribution to our charity, Operation Orion, K9s for Warriors. And the reason for that, just so folks know that the reason we don't say that we'll be making a donation in your name is because actually about 2 years ago, I had a lawyer question that and say that you really can't accept a donation. You can't make a donation in their name. Never had run into that before, but, what I basically decided, well, okay, we'll just avoid the issue altogether just by saying, in recognition of your support for the PDI, a contribution will be made to the PDI charity, and that way you get away from saying anything about, in your name. Lastly, you mentioned the introductions, and it occurred to me, and I know most people know this, but I think it's worth saying. If a speaker gives you a page-long bio of themselves, make sure you take the time to summarize it. Just quickly hit the high spots of it. Don't go over the whole bio or anything like that. I know, all of you probably know to do that, but hopefully the speakers aren't expecting you to, say every word of their bio, but just, make it as brief and, to the point on the highlights of their career or whatever as you can. And that's all I've got. Hang on the line with us, unless there are any other Q&A, Ron, and me and Libby can talk about the timing.
Okay. I told them, Al, in the beginning that we've gone a little over 3,000, which is really exciting.
Yes. Yeah, I really do appreciate the assistant instructors and volunteer support. Without you guys and gals, we couldn't make this happen. So thank y'all so much.
One last comment. If everybody would, if you were here at the meeting, if you would email me and let me know that so I can log your name. We did record it so I can send the recording out to those that I do not hear from and know that they were not able to make it because of mission or some other reason. Again, thank you all, and I'll be sending more guidance. If you have any questions, get a hold of me. We're about 9 or so days out, so we'll be seeing you all soon. And again, I really appreciate all of you, and thanks so much for your support to ASMC and the PDI.
Hey, Ron, one last quick one. On the closing of the session, we'll still be giving them a certificate, correct?
No, we give them nothing.
Oh, so we don't hand them a certificate of any kind?
No.
Just a thank you? Okay.
Just a thank you.
All right.
Hey,
Hey, Ron, this is
thanks.
Mindy. Since we're talking about the conclusion, can we all come up with a, just like you did for the intro, how you want us to close it so it's more uniform now that we're bringing up these extra things? Because I know I'll probably get tongue-tied if I'm trying to remember to say that all fancy and stuff.
I wrote down what Al said. I'll send it out to everybody when I have a couple more things to send out and put it in there. So we'll be on the same sheet of music.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, thank you all.
Bye.
Bye.